Hello, I'm Kyle, and this is Give Pause Hobby, the channel where I stop to appreciate the things I love to fill my free time with. And today, I'd love to talk about one of those things, my favorite game about bidding, QE. And you might say to yourself, I'm not really sure how one bidding game can be that different from any other. In which case, I would ask you to look at this small rule book here, where you might say such things as this. Oh, there's only 4 pages. How do you keep track of the money? You can just write whatever you want to bid on there? Those are totally different bids. Wait, but what stops you from just, Oh. Created by Gavin Birnbaum and published by BoardGameTables.com, QE is short for quantitative easing and is set in a fictionalized version of economic freefall, which many of us have lived through at least once at this point now. After markets broadly failed, it's up to each player to take on the role of one of the economic global superpowers to print as much money as they think they need to outbid the others for ownership of different shares of various industries, trying to make monopolies as well as diversified portfolios, but also showing national support for their own workers. So far, so auction game, but this is where QE unmoors from reality and sets out into truly wild waters. In this game, each player has at their fingertips an identical superpower. Money is no object until it is. If something you want is up for auction, there's nothing stopping you from slapping down 6, 7, 8, 9, or more figures on your dry erase check. But remember, there's nothing stopping the other players from doing the same. The beauty in this madness is that it all happens under cover of darkness, for only the player serving as auctioneer for that round gets to see all those bids in private, but only after they started the bidding with their own offer in public. The winner of the auction will know what it cost, and the losers will know that they didn't measure up. But only the auctioneer and any player who spent their one-time use power to look at the winning bid get more information than that. And what keeps this game just shy of completely flying out of control is the cold hard fact that even with bottomless coffers, at the end of the game, the player who spent the most money in grand total outright loses, leaving them out of the running, no matter how many points they accumulated in the process. More so than any other type of game, when you play an auction game, what you are truly playing is your opponent. The actual mechanics of the game are just the tools by which you manipulate them. In QE, this is dialed up to its logical conclusion. Depending on who you play with and the emotional state that you begin the game, your opening bids can be anything from mere dollars and cents to 100 grand or more, and that's just the beginning. The arc of this game will see not just escalation, but eras delineated by rapid price inflation or fall off, with plateaus of semi-stability in between. Players will throw money at certain items they perceive critical to their plans while offering the all-important $0 bid for others in order to keep from complete meltdown. Because of this, the players I've had the most fun with this game have been those unafraid of the unhinged, who are just as comfortable with meaningful glares as they are with sudden outbursts and clamoring to their feet with wild tactics to match. To me, QE is a near perfect experience because it removes nearly all of the least exciting part of the auction, the money part, leaving only the single threat of annihilation should you fail to budget in this budgetless world. The scope of where bids begin as to where they end isn't only hilariously wide, it's completely catered to each game group. The levers of the game are so easily manipulated by the players, the personalities around the table are able to completely enter the game space and dictate the limits and the outliers therein. I have yet to introduce it to someone who isn't immediately taken by the absurdity of the premise. Not the theme, mind you, but the mechanics. And I love it for that. So that is QE. And just for the record, I have been that person who bid the most amount and got wiped from the running more than half of the games I've been in. So, do you typically like auction games? Have you played this one? If not, has the madness of the game with blank checks piqued your interest? Hopefully, because it is exactly as good as it sounds. So with that, Thanks for taking a pause with Give Pause, and I will see you next time.